Fairy Creek watershed is a breathtaking, unlogged, old-growth forest located on the traditional territory of the Pashidat First Nations on Vancouver Island. Fairy Creek has vast biodiversity and is home to trees which are hundreds of years old and habitats for many species of animals. Yet 595 square kilometers of old growth at Fairy Creek is scheduled to be clear-cut by a company called Teal Jones. Since August 2020, passionate protesters have been relentlessly fighting to protect this sacred land. Protesters have set up a blockade to prevent logging trucks from moving into the proposed logging area. Even after the BC Supreme Court granted Teal Jones an injunction against protesters in early April of this year, blockaders have continued to stand their ground despite the risk of being arrested by the RCMP. Respecting and living in harmony with Mother Nature is a fundamental tenet of Indigenous culture, so the conservation of Fairy Creek is both culturally and environmentally essential. In political discourse, promises are frequently made regarding environmental sustainability and conservation, as well as Indigenous reconciliation. Yet the Canadian government allows companies like Teal Jones to log such wonders for the sole purpose of economic gain, with no thought about the implications on our planet or our Indigenous peoples. The legacy of oppression when it comes to Indigenous peoples in Canada is evident when we reflect on colonialism and the horrific residential school system, both extreme acts of cultural assimilation, all intertwined with the issue at Fairy Creek. The Canadian government's decision to permit and encourage the total decimation of this culturally and spiritually important land illustrates immense hypocrisy, as their promises to reconcile and put an end to this legacy are obviously not being kept. Buy a Creek candle for $20 today, and all proceeds will go towards supporting blockaders and the legal fees to appeal the injunction. Will you stand up?